Hi there. Sorry, this is going to be a super informal video for this week. It's week 2, and I just wanted to talk really quickly about the composition that's due this week, the rough draft of the first composition that you will be submitting this week. Mostly because I want to assure you that I really am serious, that I want you to keep it simple. I know that it's really overwhelming to even think about writing a composition when you're in your second week of studying Spanish. But really what I'm looking for is for you to practice taking the vocabulary that's in in chapter 1 and just recombining it into different sentences. It can be super repetitive. Forget what you learned in 4th grade about you can't start multiple sentences in a row with the same letter. Don't worry about that. It's not creative writing. I just want you to practice using this vocabulary in complete sentences. Okay, so for example, some of use the sentence starters that I've provided for you in the prompt, and don't worry about having to switch those up at all. Just use those. So, for example, para la universidad tengo, and then you just list your school supplies, and you can list each one in a different sentence. Para la universidad tengo una mochila. If you want to get fancy, add in colors. Para la universidad tengo una mochila roja. And then if you're wanting to extend that and get more use out of that same construct, you take the exact same thing and you make a negative statement with it. And you say, para la universidad no tengo una mochila negra. So you tell what color of backpack you do have, and then maybe a couple of colors that you don't have. Same thing, any other school supplies. Para la universidad tengo un bolígrafo azul. No tengo un bolígrafo morado. And it can absolutely be that repetitive. And then if you can figure out how to say a couple of your classes in Spanish, you can look those up in a dictionary. You can use a dictionary here and there for the composition, but if you're looking up more than, say, 5 or 10 words for the entire composition, then you're probably making it too complicated and using too much of what you don't know, and so then you're not using what's in chapter 1. So let's say you figure out how to say math, which is matemáticas. Okay, so you say, para la clase de matemáticas tengo una calculadora. Para la clase de matemáticas no tengo un diccionario. Para la clase de español, tengo un diccionario. Para la clase de español, no tengo una calculadora. So just recombining the vocabulary in very simple sentence structures. That's exactly what I'm looking for with this composition. Add in colors. If you're wanting to make it a little more creative, add in negative constructs, because that way, if you say what is true and then what is not true, you get double use out of the same basic construction, just adding a no into one of them. So that's exactly what I'm looking for. Keep it simple. Don't get any fancier than that, because that's the entire goal of this assignment, is just to practice using those words in simple, correct structures. So I give this example a lot for my students. How do you decide what to say or write in English? It's not because you think through, I made sure that I used the correct conjugation of the verb to agree with the subject of my sentence. No. We say or write what sounds right to us because it's our native language. So in order to get to the point where you know what sounds right in Spanish, you need to have lots and lots of repetition of simple, correct structures. So that's the goal of these compositions, is lots of repetition of simple, correct structures. So it's totally fine if there's no creativity at all. It's just lots of repetition. And I know that's a little boring, but you'll have more opportunity to add in creative things as your language improves and as you gain more vocabulary. So don't worry that you're going to have to speak this simply forever. But it's what works for now, and it's what will help establish those patterns in your brain so that you can more easily build on them as you move forward with the language. So I hope that's helpful. Don't be overwhelmed by this composition. Keep it really simple. And if you need help, shoot me an email. But just go ahead and get it done. Make sure that it meets the 200 word limit or the 200 word requirement. And use those sentence starters. And I think that's it. And then submit it in Blackboard. I will give you feedback by the beginning or by the middle of next week, and then you'll resubmit it as a final draft using the feedback that I give you. Anyway, I hope that helps, and I will see you all online.